Hi everybody, I am the Central Coast LARPer. Today we are at Rockdale in Sydney for Battlecry. They play every Friday night. And basically to give you a bit of an idea of what we're going to do today is answer that question, what is a live action battle game? This is mainly designed for people that have no idea of LARP or live action battle games, and hopefully we can answer your questions. A couple of caveats. This is indeed the Central Coast LARPer's first video. We have no talent at all. We are doing our best. Hopefully we'll get better over time. And stick with us, and I'm sure that at some stage we'll be slightly less than mediocre. We'll do our best, hopefully over time as we get a little bit more experience in this, we can do a few more instructional videos around the LARP sort of genre. So we'll just take a moment to watch a little bit of the gameplay, and then we'll talk further and see if we can answer that question for what is a live action battle game.
Damage one. Damage one. Damage one. And you please heal me if you prevail. Heal one. You die. Come to me.
Okay, so to that question, what is a live action battle game? So I'm going to give you what my opinion of it is. Obviously there'll be people that have different opinions, but it pretty much covers it, particularly in this country. We are in Australia, by the way, if you're not aware. So some of you may be familiar with the term live action roleplay, or LARP. So LARP traditionally a lot like Dungeons and Dragons, but instead of standing around a table or rolling dice with your mates, you're actually playing out that character and interacting with other characters. LARP traditionally are more heavily based on roleplay with a little bit of combat thrown in. Live action battle games, however, are sort of the other end of the spectrum. So live action battle games are a lot more like, for those of you that played World of Warcraft, some of the battlegrounds, where you'll divide up into two teams and you'll compete against those two teams in order to achieve an objective. So it might be, for example, to capture your opponent's flag and make it back to your respawn point. It may be there's some resources on the ground. You've got to get more resources than your opposing team. So it's more of a team combat game, and basically within that combat, you'll be fighting each other to try and stop the other team from achieving the objective before yours is. Okay, so we're just going to watch a little bit of the games going on here. You can no doubt and hear the... oh, he's just stopped. That was the bard. Here he goes again on his little musical instrument there. So in a couple of archers right down the very end there. If you can zoom into the corner, we can see an archer running around doing his thing. Now he will be under the rule system in this particular game a ranger, no doubt. So he has some abilities like entangle shot, which can stop you in its tracks. And now just a moment ago you would have heard a whistle and the words respawn. So in this particular live action battle game there is a set respawn timer. So sometimes some live action battle games will have a countdown, so when you die you'll go to your respawn point and count down to 30 seconds and then come back on the field. In the Battlecry rules, it's actually a set timer, so I believe in this game it's probably about 2 minutes. So basically, you'll have a series of hit points. You'll have a certain amount of hit points based on your base hit points, plus any armour you're wearing, and every time you cop a hit from someone else's weapon, you will, as default, take 1 hit point worth of damage. When you are reduced to 0, you will then go to the respawn point and await the whistle and the respawn call, and then you'll come back and fight again to live another day. Now there are some special abilities in this game, like magic and certain types of melee attacks and missile attacks that will do additional damage, but the easy basic rules are, like if it's your very first game and you just want to hit your mates with rubber swords, the default position is 1 hit, 1 damage. When you're on 0, you're dead. Go to respawn, wait for the whistle. So the other thing about live action battle games as well is often there's different types of mechanics. So I've mentioned capture the flag. That's one. There's a game they played a bit earlier called Highlander, where you need to be the last person standing, and in order to be the last person standing, you need to kill everybody. And when you die, you need to wait for that person that killed you to die before you can come back. There are other games like we've done King of the Hill. King of the Hill is always quite a popular one. So basically an area on the map, and your team will need to capture that area on the map and defend it against the other team, and you'll get, every time there's a respawn whistle, you'll get a point each time you're holding that spot. So there's a heap of different games. We have also a little variant called God Mode at times, and you can do this with a game that has a respawn whistle. So the God Mode is that one player, there'll be an artifact on the ground somewhere. One player will put that artifact on and they become impervious to any type of damage whatsoever, so they can cut loose. The only problem is as soon as the respawn whistle goes, they are dead. So that's a little bit of chaos as well, that is always a little bit of fun. And obviously with those respawn whistle games, you can do those as well. So it looks like now they've just called end game, so they'll take a quick break and reset, and then they'll start up another game. So we're here in the middle of the thick of it at the moment, hence the high vis vest, just to make sure people don't confuse us with play. Here with Tad. Tad is our president of the Central Coast Battlecry, and Tad is also tonight's games marshal running the game. So Tad, tell us a little bit about what's happening here.
So tonight we've got a scenario in which we call hot potato. We're testing it tonight, we'll see how it goes. Essentially what one side has to do is they have to take the chest and they have to move it inside the enemy's base. Whoever ends up with it at the end of the round has their base destroyed. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
So one of the other questions, the main question we're trying to answer today is actually what is a live action battle game? So from your experience, how would you best describe a live action battle game?
So a live action battle game is probably the closest, I guess, thing to it would be World of Warcraft Battlegrounds. It's very similar to that, kind of like PUBG as well, in that we've got a battleground in which we've got two sides fighting for objectives, and it's very much like a medieval paintball sort of scenario. Everyone gets towards their objective, which would be capture the flag, but for this one obviously we've explained that. But it differs every single game, and it's two sides pitted against each other, and it requires teamwork and individual efforts to make a victory.
Now, Tad, you've done a little bit of LARP, so what first got you into LARP? Obviously you're pretty keen on it, being the president of the LARP yourself.
Originally I wasn't. I was dragged along by a friend, kicking and screaming at first, and eventually I started playing and never looked back since.
And one last question, what's your favourite thing about LARP?
The community. 100% the community. What we've got here in Battlecry is an incredible community of friendly people who back each other up and work together and really enjoy what they're doing, and it shows.
Very good. So we'll just keep an eye on the objective here, so you can just see in the distance there the chest or the hot potato in this particular game. So no one wants to finish with this in their respawn point, so both sides are engaging in a fair amount of vicious battle to get rid of the chest and take it into their opponent's respawn spot. So the trick about this particular game is they actually don't know when the game's going to finish. So it could finish at any time, and whichever team has the chest or the hot potato in their respawn point is the losers for this particular game. So as Tad said, this is a bit of a first time trial, but so far it looks to be going pretty well. And the interesting thing about this is the opposing team that actually has the chest in their respawn point. When they die, they come right back into where the action is. So it does make for a little bit of. I think what we'll find from this is we'll probably have a fair bit of to and fro, with one side overpowering another side, only to on the next respawn to sort of wade back and make some advantages from there. So as you can see in this particular game, a lot of the action is around the chest. So we're just watching here to see if the opposing side can make a little bit of an advance out. So the purple flag, that is Royals? Imperials? Yeah, and the yellow and blue flag is the Royals.
Finally got it after 4 months of playing.
It takes a little while, doesn't it? It takes a little while to work it out.
I was like, I don't know what team I'm on, but I think it's red, and then I went nothing like that.
So one of the interesting things about this particular system of a live action battle game is that there's always, the two sides are always the same. So you might have heard the Imperialists and the Royalists. So the Royalists, the Imperial being the purpley flag up the end there, and the Royalist over here on the yellow flag, if we had a look at that. So they do actually have their own sub-factions or war bands or clans that will declare allegiance to either the Imperials or the Royalists. But the good thing about that is it's never about your individual clans. There's always a sort of a greater power that you fight for. So it sort of avoids that temptation of becoming too much about individual little groups within inside your LARP and more about the game as a whole. So certainly from a overall morale aspect of our players, that makes things a fair bit better, and it tends to build a more stronger community, because rather than being lots of little subgroups, you're at worst 2 big groups. But having said that, often players will have multiple characters, and one character may fight for the Imperialists, one may fight for the Royalists, and by that way you tend to always fight against different people and fight with different people, so ultimately you become one big happy family. And as you can see with this particular format, it's really good on getting everyone in the same spot. The Imperialists are a bit stuck here with the hot potato. They need to get it out of their respawn point before the time ends, and if they don't, well then the Royalists will be our winners for the day. So they've just got to fight their way out though. This is a great thing. Here we go, there's a little bit of action happening here. So they're really struggling now the Imperials are struggling a little bit to get out, so the Royalists are doing a really good job here of just keeping him locked into their respawn area there. Or a bit of a mad dash to create a bit of a hole. And that's the other thing about the bard, you would have just heard that there. Not only can the bard heal with their dulcet tones, they can also deliver damage as well. Until of course someone with a sword comes up to them and then they fall in a big heap. Bards are somewhat useless like that. There goes the respawn whistle, so out they go again. Out come the Imperials again and trying to make a push. So they've got a reasonable chance now. They've got the numbers for the moment. They can make a bit of a hole, they can get out. Occupational hazard there for an archer. You try and stay at the back, but occasionally people will sneak around. Bit of a running bard. Rollers doing a great job here of keeping the hot potato in the spot that they want. AJ, one of the Fields of Ashnoor guys, been on a bit of a road trip recently, but around the countryside, but he's back in Sydney at the moment, so he's trying out Battlecry for the very first time. Okay, we had a slight pause, and then back on lay on. Here they go. Just watch AJ here for a little bit because he is annoyingly talented. He's gifted at everything he does. Just takes out two, takes out another. There you go. See you later. Bit of a one-man army at the moment. So look, I hope you're getting a bit of an idea of what a live action battle game is, and of course, as you can see, it is heavy combat focused, and there is a little bit of role play. People do role play their deaths, people do sort of play a character to an extent, but primarily it's the combat side of things. Is two sides fighting each other over a victory condition. So it's just another form of LARP. Both are very good. Both have their own pros and cons. But as you can see in this one, it's a lot more combat with a little bit of a role-play medieval feel mixed in. So there are other live-action battle games around as well, and there's lots of similarities. Like obviously we focus on Battlecry because that's who we are. We are Battlecry. But there's lots of other live-action battle games out there that are quite good as well. For example, in Melbourne, there are two very big LARPs, Swordcraft and Exodus. So as you can see here, the poor old Imperials, they got stuck with the hot potato, and the hot potato has exploded and destroyed their fort, and the Royalists are very happy indeed. Okay, so I'm here with Alex. Alex is a committee member in Battlecry.
I am a committee member.
Yeah. So what is it that you do for Battlecry?
So I am the vice. I am second in charge at this point in time. I am in charge of helping keep the culture together and helping organise and backing up all our wonderful volunteers that make things happen. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done, but many hands make light work.
So how long have you been LARPing? So what got you into it?
I've been LARPing for about 18 months now, and what got me into it was a perfect storm of different interests that I hadn't found a way to put together before. I had been playing Dungeons and Dragons. That part is really, really fun, but I always thought that instead of rolling a dice, it would be much more fun to pick up an actual sword and sort of have a go and be more physical. And on the other side, I was doing medieval fighting and some historical swordsmanship. But I'd never found a way to put them together. And then when Battlecry appeared, I was able to put these two interests together and play a game with swords that was also really safe, but really fun and imaginative at the same time.
So when you try to explain to your friends what you do,
yes,
how do you generally explain what this is?
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I've used a few different tactics. I have said soccer with swords, which always gets a bit of confusion. I've said like LARP, and they said, oh, lightning bolt, and I said, yes, we do have similar magic, but I mostly say that it is a Friday night sword fight. It's been my most successful explanation, and I say that you turn up and you're going to have safe fun. I let them try out the foam weapon, and it's a group of people that get together and we all play and keep each other safe, and then we can get as involved as we like in the battles.
So lastly, what is your favourite thing about LARPs and live action battle games?
My favourite thing about LARPs and live action battle games is that it involves as many different people as you could imagine. anybody with any physical ability, any set of interests, can find something within LARP to latch onto, make their own, and surprise other people. If you want to be a big, fearsome warrior, sure, you can do that. If you're 5'1", you can still be a big, fearsome warrior that has other people running away from you. It's a real equalizer, and the people with ingenuity and imagination and energy are the ones that really shine, and it's just the greatest thing to see when people really come into their own. That's my favourite thing.
Okay, well, thank you very much for talking to the Central Coast LARPer.
Thank you, Wayne. Cheers.
Hi again, I'm here with AJ. AJ has been around the LARP traps a little bit. I've known AJ for how long now?
It's been a few years.
Been a few years.
Good years.
Very good years. Now AJ, we proudly call an Ashnoorian. Now he's been travelling around the countryside, living the life of a
nomad. Yep. Woodsman, living off the land.
Yes, and as luck would have it, he's found himself in Sydney for a little bit here, so he's decided to make his way to Battlecry in Rockdale. So this is the first time you've been to this chapter?
Indeed, very first time. Yeah. Heard lots about it though, all good things.
Yeah. So how have you found the game so far?
It's ran very well. It's very streamlined, very exact. There's not many grey areas. It's easy to follow. The parts that are a little bit tricky, like your different abilities. For me as a ranger, I can entangle and ensnare people with my arrows, but with a little bit of like playtime, it's easy to iron out them kinks and get the feel of it.
Yeah. So how long have you actually been in LARP? So what got you into it? When did you start?
Wow. So I think the very first encounter with LARP was the movie Role Models, which is all about, well, they call it LAIR in that movie, live, active, action, interactive, role-playing explorers. And that was like mind-blowing. I said, I've never seen anything like this before. But previously to that, I was all into Lord of the Rings and all the medieval type reenactment things. And I was talking to some of my friends at the tavern one day, and they're like, oh, there's a LARP in Brisbane. So I was like, well, what are we waiting for? Let's go. Every 2 months they held a weekend event. So we geared up and we started making weapons, making armour, and we did a big road trip down to Brisbane. I was up in far north Queensland at that point in time for reference. Not LARP for obviously 1,000 kilometres away. So we did that, we built all our stuff, went down for a role-playing event, and it was better than I was imagining. It was superb. So then we kept going down every 2 months after that, and that was in 2013. And then once I sort of moved to Newcastle, I found out there was a LARP down there, and I started pretty much LARPing every weekend from then on. And now I'm hooked.
The rest is history.
Indeed.
The rest is history.
Pre-1600s.
Yes, that's right. So I just lost my train of thought for a moment.
So I dragged on a bit there, didn't I?
Oh, actually, that was the point that I wanted to say. Like, you'll often hear us refer to, say, use the term LARP, and we talked a little bit about that. Technically, LARP's more role play, but the live action battle game is more like what we do. The thing about it is LARP is a more generalised term. So often when people refer to LARPing, they're playing a live action battle game, but it's a more well-known term. Most people that know anything about the sort of genre will more likely know the term LARP than live action battle game, or I don't even know what the acronym sounds like when you put it together.
LabG.
LabG. So yeah, don't really hear people say LabG that much. So one last question. What is it that you like most about LARPs or live action battle games? What are the things that you really like about it?
That's a really good and hard question. It so varies for me. I love catching up with mates like yourself and like many of other people here, making new friends. I like the exercise. Me being a ranger, so I'm predominantly archery with dual wield. I do a lot of running. So I love the exercise. I love developing yourself as a person, as a skill, and like the Sons of Obi-Wan philosophy, you know, the suck. You got to embrace the suck. So everyone pretty well sucks at this to begin with. I mean, how often do you just automatically know how to swing a sword or like walk off the street and know all about archery and this kind of thing? Not many people. So we all have somewhere to start from. We've all been there and we've all grown as a person, as well as you grow your characters if you are into the role-playing side of things too. So I like everything about it, really.
Very good. Okay, AJ, thank you very much for talking to the Central Coast LARPer. Thank you. Okay, so I'm here with Lisa. Now, Lisa is the treasurer in Battlecry and Rockdale. So, Lisa, tell us a little bit about how you got into LARP. What's your view of LARP?
Well, I actually wanted to LARP for a very long time because I really enjoy kind of like the whole dress up thing and I guess the similarities to like gaming. So I played a lot of games and it appeals to me mainly because it's like gaming in real life. So I joined Battlecry in September after meeting Tad at St. Mark's Festival, the medieval festival, and then ever since then I've just been coming every Friday.
So you're hooked on the game?
Yeah.
So what is it in particular that you like about LARP? What's your sort of favourite thing about LARPs or live action battle games to be more specific?
The battle games, I really enjoy a lot of the fighting. One, because it's kind of like an alternative form of exercise, because I'm not a really huge fan of like soccer or anything like that, so it's a good way to get fit. And then I guess the other part of it is within my family, like my uncle's always done like proper sword fighting, so he does Takata. And every Christmas he would bring the actual swords around and we'd have a little sword fight in the street instead of playing cricket or anything like that. And I've always loved that, so I grew up with, wanting to, play fight with swords and stuff like that.
So lastly, obviously you've got some friends. So have you tried to explain to your friends that don't know anything about live action battle games what it is, and if so, how do you describe it?
My go-to description of it is kind of like Dungeons and Dragons in real life. Mostly the combat part of it, but definitely Dungeons and Dragons in real life. Or even Skyrim in real life. I love Skyrim. A lot of people know what Skyrim is, so it's easy to compare to that.
Yep, very good. Okay, well Lisa, thank you for talking to the Central Coast LARPer. It's been very informative.
No worries.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Okay, so I'm here with Michael, talking a little bit about LARP. So Michael, we might start with what got you into LARP? What's your history of LARP?
About 5 years ago, roughly 5 years ago, and well, technically 6 if we're talking about when I first saw LARP, was at a fair, and it was pretty much a couple of guys dressed up as orcs fighting each other, and I was like, it's a bit weird, but then you compare it to like the real steel, and so when I went to the fair you had real steel, and then you had this LARP stuff, and I was like, well, I can't really afford to get injured, like broken ribs and that. So it was kind of like, this is cool, I still get to kind of wear the armour and I still get to hit people, but I don't hurt them. It's the safest one.
Yeah. And what do you do outside of LARP? What do you do for
So right now I do building management. Previously I was a carpenter, which I still am a carpenter, and I was a fireman as well. Okay. So I did that for about 3 years. So, and then ran a amount of jobs.
Yeah. And you're involved in Sydney LARP?
Yes, so I run that little LARP group. It started off a while ago, in the age of Strive, Sydney LARP. We do something similar, to say in terms of like, we just fight. A lot of people say I want role play. We throw in role play. It's more like throwing an accent. You do silly things, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
Main thing is fun.
Yeah. So. And when you try to explain to your friends a live action battle game, how do you do it?
Alright, so I have a
it's a joke with my folks, and they say when I go Viking. So if I'm going to an event, they'll go, where are you going? I'm going Viking. Oh, okay. And they know exactly I'm doing fighting. So when I speak to my friends and work colleagues and stuff, it's like I'm fighting. Like, steel stuff? You're like, no. It's just foam, kind of like toy, kind of soft stuff. It's nothing serious. I go, well, why? I say, well, do you really want me to hit you with a real sword? And they go, oh, no. So you go, well, exactly why you use the foam stuff. And it's a bit more fun. Like I've done steel stuff, and you're just in a small square fighting for 10 minutes, and then you tie this. So with this, you can run around the field, get fit.
Very good. Okay, and finally, what's your favourite things about LARP or live action?
So I do a number of accents. So whenever I do a character, I'll usually throw a LARP accent, and having fun with it. Sometimes like you do deaths, like epic deaths. That'll be a very dramatic and theatrical thing. I like to do a bit of acting, but again, it's more like when I want to make it look good, throw in a bit of acting, and you can just have fun. It's not serious. You're not actually hurting people. It's just whether or not people say, oh, it's my escapism, or if it's like they want to live a different life. It's just, yeah, you can do that. People do that. That's fine. More fun just to be. Hey, I get to be a knight. I've recently did the fraternity knight, and I'll be doing a French accent, a very snobbish, aristocrat kind of. This is what they'll be doing here. I am a French knight, and you should die, peasant. So fun.
And of course, you're going to Swordcraft Quest.
Yes. Down
next week.
Next week, or Monday. So that'll be a 500. Well, probably ranges from 500 to 1,000 people.
Yep.
And that is a week-long thing, and that is major mass battles. There's role play in there as well, and I've got about 3 characters I'm taking with me. That's 3 types of gear, and that'll be just like fun. It's one of the things I like to have as my holiday, as I go down there just for a week non-stop.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for talking to the Central Coast LARPer. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you. Okay guys, that's it for me. Look, thank you for joining me. Thank you for bearing with us during our what we've tried to put together here. As I said, we'll get better at some stage. Hope it was informative. If you've got some mates that don't know anything about live action battle games or LARPs, I hope you sort of say, hey, check out this video, and maybe they'll become a bit more informed about it and hopefully join. Once again, I'm here, just to reiterate, I am here in Battlecry at Rockdale. They run every Friday night. So they're on Facebook. Check them out. I think it's and on the website, I think it's www.battlecrylarp.com.au, but I'll put that link on the with the video itself. If you're in the Central Coast or Lake Macquarie area, our LARP Battlecry Fields at Ashnoor runs on a Saturday. Come check it out. If you're in any other state across the country, there's other LARPs as well. A good site to go to is the Of Science and Swords site, and that has the Australian LARP directory. Try it out, see if you like it. They're generally a great community, lots of good exercise, and look, I hope to see you along, and I hope you can recruit some friends to what is a fantastic sport, and a great thing to get into. So signing off, this is the Central Coast LARPer. See you later.